welcome back to the Handwriting Academy. This is Lesson 7, the Magic C. When we teach our letters to our students, the C is one of the easiest shapes to do because it's just a short little semicircle, right? You start at the top and you work your way down. But this simple stroke right here is crucial to a lot of letters. Take, for instance, the letter A. You start with the C and then you come up and you come back down. Okay, the D is the same way. You go make a C and then you go up and come back down. And you also have G. You start with that C and then you come back down. What's awesome about the Magic C and teaching it that way is that when a student writes their D's and their B's by drawing a circle and then a line down, it becomes really easy for them to confuse these two letters, right? Because they're just drawing that circle and they're coming down, and they can turn that into the wrong letter very easily. So if you have a student who really struggles with that B and D reversals, which is fairly common for kids, teaching them in this order, teaching them this Magic C is a really great way to kind of defeat that reversal issue. Now, it is harder to remediate handwriting. I will be saying that a lot in the Handwriting Academy. Handwriting remediation is very different from instruction because a lot of this motor memory has already been established, and it can be really, really, really difficult to change the way that they write their letters. But if you start them off on the right foundation, you can really eliminate the need for ever having to come back and fix their penmanship. And so what I like to remind my students is that you have a C, and then right after the C is D. So you just go ahead and make a C, and then you turn that into a D. So you have a C, and then you turn that into a D. Because if they start with a C, it becomes really almost impossible for them to make it a B unless they kind of loop back around like that. Because right here, they come up, and there's your D. So by remembering that A, D, and G start by using this C shape, it can really, really help with that proper formation. Now, I will give you a word here because there is one other letter that starts with a Magic C, and that is Q. But here's the issue with Q. Q and G are often reversed. Right after B and D, these two letters are usually the most common. And there's a trick to Q that we use later on in the final group because Q is not very common. So we just ignore Q altogether. So these are the three here, A, D, and G, and they all start with that lowercase c shape. So there you have it. There's your Magic C. I like to use the Magic C in the capital letters as well. You know, an S starts with that C shape. C does, O does, Q does, so many of those Magic C's. And so by having a kid just practice their C's, you're setting them up for success for a lot of other letters. So there you have it. There's Lesson 7, the Magic C. I will see you next week for Lesson 8, our transition letters.